everyone. Today's lesson in language is all about forming plural form of nouns using the rules number 7 to 10. We will also be tackling about subject-verb agreement rule number 1 and 2, or the basic rules about subject-verb agreement. So, if you are ready, let's get started with our lesson. Now, join me as we're going to read this very short story about the talkative tortoise. All you need to do is to find out the nouns in each of the sentence. So you can give me how many, like 5 to 10 nouns that you can see in the story. So if you're ready, let's read the short story. A tortoise and 2 storks were good friends. They lived on the banks of a river in a jungle. The storks traveled a lot and visited many countries. They often told stories about different places to the tortoise. The tortoise felt sad that he could not travel along with them. One day, the tortoise had an idea. He told the storks, "I cannot travel because I do not have wings, but this problem can be solved. Both of you hold each end of a long stick with your beaks. I will hold the middle part of the stick with my mouth. You both fly and I will automatically come along." One stork thought it to be a good idea. However, the other stork said, "Not a bad idea, but you are very talkative. Can you be quiet? If you talk, you will fall down and die." The tortoise promised to be quiet. The storks and the tortoise started their journey. As they flew over a village, men and women stopped and stared. The children clapped hands and ran after them. One boy started teasing. The tortoise couldn't resist and opened his mouth to reply. As soon as he opened his mouth, he lost his grip on the stick. He fell down and died. And yes, that's it. So this one is a fable. A while ago, we have learned about a folk tale. Now we are learning about a fable. A fable is a story that is the characters or the main characters are all about animals, and it gives us a lesson. So this story tells us what? Yes, so this story tells us to avoid being too much talkative, because sometimes when we become too much talkative, it would lead us to danger. So moving on, we are tasked to look for the nouns that we can see in the sentence or in the story. What are the nouns that we can see here? Here are some examples of nouns that we can see in the story. We have, of course, the tortoise, the stick wherein they used so that the tortoise can come together with the storks. We also have children, the storks themselves, and of course the group of people who saw what happened with the stork and the tortoise. Have you seen any other nouns in the story? Excellent work. Now, let us review. When we say nouns, these are names of persons, places, things, animals, events, ideas, and feelings. Just like earlier, the nouns there are the tortoise, which is a name of an animal. The stick there is a name of a thing. And then we can also say countries is a name of a place. And of course, the people there and the children are the names of a persons. Now, there are different kinds of nouns which we have discussed and reviewed, but today our center focus is the number of nouns. There are 2 numbers of nouns. The first number of noun is known to be the singular noun, and singular noun means only one. However, when we say plural nouns, this refers to 2 or more nouns. Again, when we say nouns, singular nouns refer to only one, whereas plural nouns refer to 2 or more nouns. In forming the singular and plural nouns, we have different rules, and the basic rules are the following. We have the first one is that most nouns add s, examples, bag to bags. And then there are nouns ending in s, sh, ch, x, and z. If that happens, all you need to do is to add es, like for example, your word is watch to watches. There are also some rules like nouns that ends in Y. If your noun ends with Y, preceded by a vowel, just add S. However, if the noun ends in Y preceded by a consonant, change Y to I and add ES. Another rule is that nouns ending in F or FE, some changes to VES, some may just add S, like the word belief, roof, and chef. No need to change this word to VES, rather just add S. And some, like scarf, dwarf, you can add either VES or S. The last rule from the basic rules 1 to 6, is the words ending in O. So when a word ends with O preceded by a vowel, like the word radio, just simply add S. If it's consonant plus O, just add ES. Say for example, the word is potato. If musical terms like soprano, piano, you just need to add S. And some other miscellaneous words, you can add S or ES, like the word avocado, so you can say avocado S or avocado and ES. Again, these are the basic rules in forming the singular and the plural noun. So, with that being said, let us have a quick review or activity on the following. All you need to do is to write the plural form of the nouns that are given here. You are given a minute to do so. Good luck! All right, so now let us reveal the answers to the given items, okay? So this given follows the rules 1 to 6. So let's start. So the plural for safe is safes. The plural for penny is pennies. For the knife is knives. Handcuff is handcuffs. Cameo, just add S. Survey, just add S because it is vowel plus Y. Foxes, ES because it ends with X. Potato, ES. Inches, add ES because it ends with CH. Supplies, change Y to I and add ES. Complex, ES. Speeches, ES. Piano, just add S because it's a musical term. Dwarf has two plural forms. Handkerchief, S. Essays, S. Roof, just add S. Chimney, just add S. Torpedoes, you can use S or ES here. Portfolio, S. Housewives, change to VES. Scarf has two plural form, could add S or VES. Branches, ES. Rally, change Y to I and add ES. Video, S. Attorney, S. And churches, add ES. Were you able to get all the items correctly in the given quiz? If yes, very good. It means you have mastered the basic rules in changing singular to plural form. Now, it's time for us to move on to the next lessons. So today, our main focus is to make the proper nouns into its plural form, the letters, the symbols, the numbers, and the others to make it in plural form as well, compound words, and of course some practical exercises and the application of this in the subject-verb agreement. So let's get started with the first rule. For the 7th rule, we are going to focus on the proper nouns. When we say proper nouns, these are specific names of persons, places, things, animals, events, and ideas. Example, your name might be Rose. Your name might be Michael. So how are we going to say the plural form of your name, Rose or Michael? Say, for example, there are many Rose in the classroom or many Michael in the classroom. If that's the case, all you need to do is to simply add S or ES to the proper noun. Again, add S or ES to the proper noun. So for example, your name is Jane, just simply add S. Since Reyes ends with S, and the rule is if it ends with S, SH, CH, X, and Z, then add ES. However, in the word Mary or in the name Mary, you don't need to change it to IES because it would sound like wedding or being wed together. So hence, what you need to do is just simply add S. For the word Max, just simply add ES. And for the surname Sanchez, since it ends with Z, all you need to do is add ES. Again, when it is proper noun, add S or ES. The next rule that we're going to look at is when we are using letters, symbols, numbers, and other words. So let's start first. The first one, remember, is that the plural form is not using apostrophe. Again, plural form does not use apostrophe. This has been a common mistake in our English dictionary or even in our daily English uses. Say, for example, we say the word children, so that people think that children is singular, and to make it plural, they do apostrophe S. That's technically and grammatically wrong. Always remember that the general rule is that you should not use an apostrophe to form the plurals of nouns, abbreviations, or dates made up of numbers. Just add S or ES if the noun in question forms its plural with ES. But there are some exceptions to the rule wherein we need to use apostrophe. And let's get started to know which ones are exempted to the rule. For the most capital letters, like from A to letter Z, all we need to do is to add S. Again, when we are dealing with capital letters, all we need to do is add S, except for S, I, and U. The letters S, I, and U, to make them in plural form, add apostrophe and S. Again, all the letters in the alphabet, add S, except for S, I, and U. When you use S, I, and U, just simply add apostrophe and S. For example, as, C, the C's or the A's, the C's, and the X's. However, if you have the capital S, I, and U, do not just add S, but add apostrophe and S. Next rule. If in case that you are using the lower letter case and symbols, all you need to do is to add apostrophe S. Again, use apostrophe S if you're dealing with lowercase letters and symbols. Examples, like the I's, the percentage signs, and the P's. So whatever sign it is or whatever letter in the lowercase or small letter it is, remember to add apostrophe and S. On the other hand, if you're using dates and numbers above 9, so form their plural by adding S. So for example, 10 and above, 10 to 2,000 to 1,000,000, just add S. However, if it is a single number, 9 and below, add apostrophe and S. Again, numbers above 9, which is 10 and above, add S. But numbers below 9, just add apostrophe and S. Example, we have the 10s, the 30s, and the 1980s. But if it's lower than 10, we have the 9s, 3s, and the 1s, add apostrophe and S. Next, number 4, abbreviation that combines upper and lowercase letters or has interior periods form their plural by adding an apostrophe apostrophe S. Example is the word MA or Master of Arts and the word PhD, which means philosophy or Doctor of Philosophy. To make this one into the plural form, just add apostrophe S. Example, MAs or Master of Arts and Doctor of Philosophies. On the contrary, if the abbreviation does not have an interior period, form their plural by adding S. Again, if the abbreviation does not have an interior period in the middle, all you need to do is to put an S. Example, we have CD, URL, and ATM. To make this in plural, just simply add S, such as CDs, URLs, and ATMs. Now let's move on to the next rule. For the rule number 9, this is an example of a compound word. However, these words end in the suffix "ful," except for the word beautiful, wonderful, faithful, and grateful. Those words that I've mentioned to you are adjectives. These words that I'm going to mention to you in rule number 9 are nouns. So some examples of words that end in "ful" are the words bucketful, cupful, handful, mouthful, spoonful, and trunkful. And to make this one into its plural form, we just add S to the last component of the word ending in "ful," such as bucketfuls, cupfuls, handfuls, mouthfuls, spoonfuls, and trunkfuls. As you can see, again, these are compound nouns. So when you say beautiful, beautiful is not a compound noun, so you don't say beautifuls, faithfuls, gratefuls, and wonderfuls. Okay? Adjective doesn't have a plural form. Only nouns has a plural form. Clear? Great. So now let's move on to the next rule. The 10th rule is all about the compound nouns. When we say compound nouns, there are many different kinds of compound nouns. Actually, there are 3. So compound noun is a noun that includes 2 or more than 2 words by mixing them in a single noun. Just like earlier, we mentioned about compound noun that ends with "full," like cupful, spoonful. So this is a combination of 2 nouns put together to make 1 word. But then there are different kinds of compound nouns that could be more than 2. So we have the close compound noun, wherein the reason why it's called close because it is written together, like the word softball, toothpaste, and chopstick. We also have the hyphenated form, wherein the 2 to 3 words are joined together by using a hyphen, such as six-pack, son-in-law, and 2-year-old. And the last one is the open form. The open form is written with a space in between. That's why it's called an open or separate compound noun, such as hot dog. Yes, there are some countries which write hot dog with space in it, but here in the Philippines, we commonly know hot dog into one form or closed form. We also have fish tanks and post office. So again, we'll be discussing how to make this one in its plural form. For the closed compound nouns, add S to the end of the compound noun. Again, if it's a closed compound noun, all you need to do is to add S to the end of the compound noun. Example, we have breakwater to breakwaters, rainforest to rainforests, seagrass to seagrasses. So these are examples of the words. So we have here the breakwater, the rainforest, and the seagrass. On the other hand, if we're using the open compound nouns, add S to the end of the base word. So here, you're going to look for the word that is being described or that is being mentioned or what the object is really all about. So you need to put the S on the base word. So for example, here in this word Knight Templar, it's not about the Templar or the temple. It's all about the knight. That's the reason why you will put the S on the word knights and not the Templar. Next, the word bus stop. Here, it's not just about the bus, but it is about the stop. Hence, you need to put the S on the base form stop. So that's the reason why bus stops. And lastly, full moons. You won't write it on the word full because it's not all about the full, but it's all about the moon. Hence, the correct plural form for full moon is full moons. Lastly, we are going to talk about the hyphenated compound nouns. Just like the open compound noun, when a compound noun is hyphenated, add s to the principal word or the base form of the word, such as brother-in-law, going to brothers-in-law, passerby to passers-by. So passerby are those people who are just passing by. And then the last one is water bottle or the water bottles. Sometimes, if there is no principal word, follow the usual rules for forming a plural, which usually means adding s to the end of the word. Example, forget-me-not. Because here, this is actually not, there's no principal word here because forget-me-not is actually a name of a flower. So the plural form of that is forget-me-nots. And also same with the word court-martial, it's not about the court nor the martial. The court-martial looks like this. There. Hence, the S form is at the end and not in the court. So hyphenated compound nouns may be a little bit tricky, but the basic thing that you need to remember is to add S to its base form. Some other compound nouns or hyphenated compound nouns may be a combination of a noun and a preposition. If that happens, you need to always put into plural form the noun. Example, passerby to passers-by, not passerbys. Hanger-on to hangers-on. However, there are still some compound nouns that is composed of verb and a preposition. If that's the case, add s to the end. Example, check-in to check-ins, build-up to build-ups, take-out to take-outs, and love-in to love-ins. So now let's have a very quick activity on writing the plural form of nouns following the rules number 7 to 10. So, if you're ready, let's have a quick one or quick activity. What is the plural form of the letter R? The correct answer is R's. Just simply add S, not apostrophe S, because this is a capital letter. Next, write the plural form of the name De La Cruz. For the name De La Cruz, the plural form is De La Cruzes. Add ES. Next, write the plural form of the noun sister-in-law. The plural form of sister-in-law is sisters-in-law. The base word is the word sister, not the law. Next one, write the plural form of the word 1981. The name or the word 1981 is 1981s. Next, write the plural form of the word water lily. The compound word water lily's plural form is add li or change y to I and add ies. Next, what is the plural form of the small letter I? The plural form of the small letter I is apostrophe and s. Next, what is the plural form of the word Florax? This is an open compound noun. The correct answer for this one is, of course, floor waxes. Okay, floor waxes. Next, let's have the next one. What is the plural form of the percentage sign? For the percentage sign, the correct plural form is the apostrophe and s. Next, how about the name Santos? What is the plural of the word Santos? For the name Santos, the plural form is Santoses. The last one is the number 6. What is the plural form of the number 6? For the plural form of number 6, it should be written with an apostrophe and an S. Okay, great work. I believe that you were able to understand and you were able to get all the items correctly. To further increase your ability to make singular nouns to plural nouns using rules number 7 to 10, I'll be giving you another activity. This time, you are going to be given a 1-minute activity so that you can further develop your skills in making plural form following rules 7 to 10. If you are ready, let us begin. Alright, so I hope that you're able to answer all of this to the best of your ability. It's time for us to check if your answers are all correct. So let me see, give you the answers. For the word runner-up, the correct answer is runners-up. For the word spoonful, it is spoonfuls. For the word rainbow, just add S to the end, right? Rainbows. President-elect, it should be presidents-elect. Editor-in-chief should be editors-in-chief. Living room should be living rooms. For the number 1980, just add S at the end. For the number 9, add apostrophe and S. For the word cruises or cruise, just add ES. For the symbol ampersand, just add apostrophe and S. For the capital letter A, just add S. And for the surname Santos, just add ES. Were you able to get all the items correctly? If yes, very good. Now, to summarize our lesson for today, we have learned the 7 to 10 rules. Okay, number 1 or the rule number 7 is that plural nouns of proper nouns should be formed by adding S or ES. Rule number 8, if you're using letters, numbers, abbreviations, and symbols, number 1, if it's a capital letter, add S, except for S, I, and U, add apostrophe S. For lowercase and symbols, add apostrophe S. For dates and numbers above 10, just add S. However, for single numbers less than 10, add apostrophe S. For abbreviations with period in between, add apostrophe S, but without period, add S. Rule number 9, compound nouns ending with suffix full, just add S. And rule number 10, compound nouns that are closed, add apostrophe or add S at the end. For open and hyphenated, just add S to the base word. After knowing the rules number 7 to 10, it is for us to remember how are we going to use these rules in writing a sentence. So, if writing a sentence, that is when we use the subject and the verb agreement. There are two main subject-verb agreement rules. Number 1 is that singular subject take the singular verbs is, was, has, or the S form of the verb. So, for example, apple, then you're going to use is. For example, the apple is sweet. On the other hand, if your subject is plural, ending with s, es, ies, and the things that we've mentioned earlier, remember to use verbs that are, were, or have, or the base form of the verb. For example, the apples are sweet. Or for example, the children dance. So let's try to use this one in a quick exercise. All the rules number 7. So all we need to do is to encircle the correct form of the verb in the parentheses that will agree with the subject. Let's do it one by one. Example, or number 1, the noisy students have or has to leave after 2 warnings. The correct answer is have. Why? Because our subject is the word students. Number 2, the crying baby irritates them. The correct verb should be irritates. Why? Because our subject is baby and this is a singular subject. Next, the butterflies brings color to the garden. Here, our subject is butterflies, so our verb should be bring. Plural subject, no S. My 3 F's was were the cause why I enrolled for a summer class. What is the verb in this sentence? The correct verb is were because our subject is F. And we know that F with an S is a plural noun. Next, the ship cargo are quite heavy. In this sentence, the correct verb should be is because our subject is cargo. Next, 2 teaspoonfuls of vanilla are too sweet for me. The correct answer here should be are because our subject is the word teaspoonfuls. Lastly, the editor-in-chief checks the article carefully. The correct verb for this is, of course, checks. Why? Because our subject is all about the editor-in-chief. So once again, please do remember, singular subject takes verb with s or is, was, and has, but plural subject takes the verb without s or the singular verb such as are, were, and have, or the base form of the verb. So once again, today's lesson focuses on how to form the plural form of nouns using the rules number 7 to 10. We have also discussed about subject-verb agreement basic rules number 1 and number 2. I hope that even though this is quite a long discussion, you were able to understand today's lesson. Thank you very much, and I hope to see you in our next discussion. Goodbye and stay safe.